Good afternoon, students. Okay, actually, I started the classes of JSP and JDBC from the previous class itself. But today I will again recap what I've said yesterday about what is JSP and JDBC. Okay, how gonna we create a dynamic web projects, and today I will explain about I will take some introductions of JSP and JDBC, and I will show you sample project, how to create the sample project, and for multiple JSP files. Okay, we will create multiple JSP files, and we will see how the redirections between the files to file will happens. Okay, so get into the, let me share my notepad. Okay, second. Is my screen? Yeah. Now see what is actually GSP. Now I am saying that in the previous class we completed with the Java, but JSP is an advanced topic from Java itself. So JSP is nothing but in a Java server pages, and JDBC is nothing but a Java database connectivity. So now we will first go with an JSP. Okay, JSPs are like it's in a server side technology. Okay, I already explained about all these things. Okay, so it's a server side technology that allows you to write Java code within the HTML code to create the dynamic pages. So for that we use a Java server pages. So this is the definition of the JSP. JSP is a server side technology that allows, okay, that allows to write the Java code inside the HTML code to create the dynamic pages. And we can say in simplest form like Java JSP is in a server-side technology to create the dynamic platforms independent web pages. Okay, that is also quite nice. You can say that also. Or JSP is server-side technology use it to create dynamic platform independent, okay, independent web pages. So you can call it as server-side technology used to create dynamic platform, okay, platform independent web pages use it to create. And for detailed information, you can say like JSP server-side technology that allows to write a to create a dynamic web applications. We can use HTML inside a Java. Okay, you can write the Java code inside the HTML. So this is about the definition of the JSP, and we have the key points here. What is actually JSP means, which is nothing but we have the HTML code and the Java code embedded with the Java code. Okay, so it will be executed on the local server on our system, and the result will be sent to the client browser as a HTML. So the client browser as a HTML. So a .jsp file contains all the HTML and Java code and JSP tags. Okay, scriptlet tags basically. We use that scriptlet tags and Java code and JSP tags. JSP tags are expression tags, scriptlet tags. We have let me give you one example. So this is the code. We use the scriptlet tags to write the Java code. Okay, and we have the same. Okay, but this is an expression tag. So when you want to print it out, okay, when you want to print it out, see here I said right, scriptlet tags, Java code runs. Okay, this way we can write the Java code inside the scriptlet tags, but this expressions tag, okay, expression tags, which directly prints a value in the HTML. If you want to print a directly value, okay, in the HTML, you can use the expression tags. But if you want to write the Java code, you need to use the scriptlet tags. But here we use the expression tags for directives where you want to import any classes, or if you want to include any pages or JSP pages, okay, we use the directive tags in the JSP. Okay, and why we use the JSP? For the faster development of web applications and for easy integration of front end and the back end. And previously, before the JSP, we use servlets, but now we are replacing that servlets for generating web content. Okay, this is the difference between the JSP, HTML, and the servlets. Okay, so JSP type, we have HTML and Java, and the HTML is a static one, and the servlets are the Java classes. So the maintenance for the JSP is easy, and HTML is also easy, but servlets are hard because there is only Java code. And the output of the JSP is HTML with embedded Java. HTML, you know, right? Static page, and servlets are HTML generated via code. So now these are the basic syntax in the JSP page. We will write HTML inside the JSP. Same, we have the JSP file, but inside the JSP file we use the HTML. Okay, so inside the JSP file, HTML will be written, and scriptlets, you know, to write the Java code, we use the scriptlet tags, and to print it out any values through that HTML, we use the expression tag. So if you want to print out any value, so we use the expressions and the directive tags as I explained. So if you want to import any classes towards in the JSP class, okay, if you want to include any files, okay, we use the directive tags. Now, now let's get into JDBC. Just I am giving an intro. Okay, so after that we will create one sample project, how to create the sample project and what are the prerequisites for developing our web applications. Okay, now we will go with an JDBC. We will go with JDBC. So now JDBC is nothing but a Java database. Okay, and just giving clear what like I want to give you an idea of the JDBC, what is actually JDBC, okay? But connection with the database and everything, I will explain in the next classes, okay? When we come into the database phase, okay, I will explain about that JDBCs, Java database connectivity. Java database connectivity is a JDBC, but JDBC is nothing but is an API in the Java, okay, which allows the our Java programs to connect and to connect with the database and to interact with the database like MySQL or Oracle. So Java database is JDBC is nothing but an API, okay, an API that allows we can say that an API in Java that allows Java programs, okay, that allows Java programs to connect and interact with the databases like, you know, right, MySQL and Oracle, etc. Okay. JDBC is nothing but Java database connectivity, which is an API in the Java that allows Java programs to connect and interact with the database like MySQL, Oracle, etc. So why we are using JDBC means when you are developing a web-based applications, we need a storage, okay, to store our database, to store the application information. So we use the MySQL. So further to connect with the database, we use the JDBC. Okay, now what is the key functions of the JDBC are? The key functions are we can connect with the database. Okay, connect a database, we use JDBC. And if you want to what we can say, the CRUD operations, like if you want to manage or if you want to interact with the data of your database, so you have to send the SQL queries. Okay, so you can directly send the queries through the JDBC, and you can also retrieve the data and process the results. Retrieve data, yeah, retrieve the data and the process the results. Okay, so These are the key features of the JDBC. You can connect with the data and you can communicate, you can integrate. Okay, so you can interact with the database by using by executing the SQL queries, and you can also retrieve data and the processor results. So what are the steps to use JDBC? Okay, first you need to load the driver in your project. Okay, and you need to establish the connection, establish your connection, and you need to create the statement to to send the queries. Okay, create a statements to create the statements, and then you need to execute that query. So execute a query and the process the result, what is the result you get, and then you can close that connection. Okay, so this is a flow how to connect. Okay, how to use the JDBC. So first you need to load the driver and establish a connection between database and the program. Then you need to create the statements to give the queries, okay, to send the queries. So then you need to execute that query. So that query will give you the results, and so you need to process that results, and then after you can close that connections. Okay, so this is a major flow of the JDBC, how we work with our projects. Okay, first we need to load that driver, and we have some drivers, okay, MySQL connectors. So then we need to get the connections. Then by using statements, you need to send the queries. Okay, so that query has to execute, and that query will give you the result. So you will need to process the result whether the query is executed or not. Okay, so based on the result, we will retrieve the data, or we will insert the data. Then after at the last, we close that connection, establish it between programs and the database. Okay, so this is what about JSP and JDBC. So this entire month we are gonna learn about the JDBC and JDBC by how we are creating, okay, how to create the dynamic web projects with the JSP and JDBC using MySQL. So the prerequisites for this, okay, for these sessions, we need Eclipse IDE, so enterprise editions, and we need a Tomcat server. Okay, so for the Tomcat server is in a local run the project in our local system, we use that server, and MySQL or any relational database, okay, RDMS, and we need the driver, okay, like MySQL. As I say, when we move to the JDBC topic, when you are connecting with the database, I will send you the jar file. Okay, so with that jar file we can connect with the database, and then we can interact with our database to manipulate the data. Okay, so this is how the class will goes on. Now now let me show you how to create one dynamic project, uh, and how the project runs, and when you run that project. Okay, so how to run the project, and when you run that project, what is a welcome file. Okay, when you run that file, when you run that project, which file is getting run at first. Okay, so after that, how the navigations works. Okay, so let me give one simple example. Let me open my Eclipse. Actually, I done yesterday also. I think my screen is visible. Okay, so here I yesterday created the one JSP GDBC Pro project. Okay, so inside that, or else let me create one more. Here we have the file. Okay, so inside the file, go to the new, I'll shift new. Then you need to create the dynamic web project. Okay, click on the dynamic web project, give it a proper name for your project, like training ASP project. Okay, so click on the next. So click on next. So here you need to check box the gender w. Okay, generate web.xml file. So after check that, click on finish. Okay, now here we have the project training JSP project. So inside source, inside main, we have Java and web app. Inside the web app, we have meta web inf. Inside the web app inf, we have web.xml. So when you click on this, okay, this is web.xml. When we created the project, at last we checked that box, right? If you didn't check that box, we will not get the web.xml file. So here we have the welcome file list. Okay, here we have the welcome file list. So now we have created one project. So we will create one file inside the web app. Okay, we will create one file inside the web app. So just wait 1 second. Mm, so let me create one file here. So just 1 second. I will back in 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, when we create in a new file, okay, so when we create in a new file, we need to create the web.xml. So then first I will create one new file here, a new file, JSP file, and let me give the file name as index, or you can give separate name also, like ind.jsp. JSP, you can give it not, so we'll create one index.jsp. Okay, now see, I am now I have given index.jsp, and here I am just giving one, I'm taking one header. Okay, see, as I said, this is an HTML. So JSP is nothing but writing HTML in that JSP page. Okay, as I explained it here, see, yeah, see here, HTML plus Java. See, basic syntax of JSP pages in HTML inside JSP. HTML is written normally inside the .jsp file. So this is nothing but same, okay, HTML which is written inside the .jsp file. So inside HTML file, I'm taking the header one, and I'm just saying welcome to JSP and ADBC classes. Okay, so now I have written one header. So okay, so let me run this project in our local server. Okay, let me run this with the local server, run as in our local server. Actually, here we have the servers, right? So here I have added that server. So if you are new to that server, so click on here, we will get the add servers. So we need to add the local Tomcat server. Okay, so let me run this, run as, run on server. Okay, Tomcat, select, finish. Okay, let me show you this. Yeah, see. Okay, so here when we try to run our project, it's saying the requested resource training JSP dot is not available. Okay, so why? Because when we run this program, why we are getting that error? Because when we are running this project, okay, it will search in the welcome file list. Okay, here we have the welcome file list. Whether the welcome in our welcome file list, whether we have that file address or not, it will check. Okay, whether the file address, whichever the customer or then a programmer is want to run the first file, okay, he need to create a welcome file list here. So let me remove all this and let me create a welcome file here, welcome file. Okay, so here you need to give your file address which you want to run at the first. Okay, when you run that project, if you want to open one particular file at first, right? So you need to give that file address here. Okay, let me give the my ind.jsp page. Okay, ind.jsp page. Now let me run it again. Okay, let me run this again, run on server. Okay, see here we are getting welcome to JSP and JDBC classes. So this is how when you run a new project, okay, so that you need to give the welcome file address in the web.xml. Okay, in the web.xml in the source content, here we have the welcome file list. Okay, inside the file, you need to give the address of your welcoming file of your project. Okay, so by giving the welcome file address, it will start running with that with that file. Okay, whatever there in this file, we are able to run that file. Now if we have the multiple pages, let me create one new file. Okay, let me create one new file, and in this file what I will do here is mm, just let me take one register, or let me take one welcome file. Okay, welcome, let me take as a welcome. Click on finish. Here now I have created welcome. Okay, and here I will change. Okay, click here to attend classes. Okay, now here I given one address. Okay, now I created one more file. I created one more file as a welcome.jsp. Now here I am taking one h1. Okay, and just now here I am welcome to JSP and JDBC classes. Okay, now see, where is that? Okay, let me refresh this. Okay, I refreshed it. So now here it said click here to attend the classes. So we have the two files. Okay, so we have the two files in our project now, ind.jsp and welcome.jsp. So if you want to go into the welcome.jsp through the ind.jsp, which means navigation between the two files, navigation between the two JSP files. So if you want to navigate through each and every file through of your project, okay, so when you want to create an navigation between the two pages, you need to use the anchor link. Okay, I think you know everybody about anchor links, which is the basic of an HTML. Okay, anchor link is nothing but here it uses the text between this, it will create the link for that. Okay, so when you click on that, click here to attend the classes. Okay, let me remove this at the rate here, let me create here. Okay, so see, let me save it and let me refresh it here, and let me here the h reference is an attribute of an anchor tag. So here in the h reference we need to give the, okay, we need to give the address of where you want to go. Okay, when the user clicked here, he need to go to certain page, right? So that is a welcome page. So just like that, you need to give that welcome page address, which is nothing but welcome.jsp. So I am giving here welcome.jsp. Okay, welcome.jsp. Let me refresh it. See here we are seeing an anchor tag. Okay, here we are getting a hand gesture. Okay, when you click on that, it will go to the welcome file and see it appearing welcome to the JSP and JDBC classes. Okay, so again when you want to go back to that index page, here you need to create the anchor tag in the welcome file. Okay, now we are in the welcome file, right? So inside the welcome file, I'm taking one more anchor tag and I'm just giving as a back. Okay, so let me refresh it. See here we're getting back, but we are not getting the anchor link because here we didn't, okay, we didn't use the attribute of h reference and we didn't give an address. Okay, let me save it and see here. See here we get the link, but we didn't get the address to where we didn't given the address. Okay, one second. Okay, we didn't give an address where to go. So when I click on the back button, see it refreshes the same page. Okay, it refreshed the same page. So here you need to give the address of where you want to go to the user when you click on the back. So I am just giving again ind.jsp. Okay, ind.jsp address and save it and just refresh it. Okay, so now when I click on the back button, it will go to the previous ind.jsp page. Okay, so when you click here, it will go to the one page, and when you click back button, it will go to the previous page. So this is how we will navigate between the each and every page. First, when we create in a project, when we run that project, it will open with the welcome file, whichever file you given the address in the web.xml. Okay, in the welcome web.xml file is here I given the ind.jsp. Now let me give the welcome.jsp page. Okay, welcome.jsp page, and let me run this again. Or one second, where is that? Yeah, let me refresh this. Okay, and click on, okay, let me run it for you better understanding. Run as non-server, tomcat, finish. Okay, so it will open again. See now, first when we run the project, it opens a welcome.jsp file. Okay, welcome.jsp file. So from welcome.jsp file, we can go to the end.jsp file. Okay, see in the welcome file, we removed end.jsp and we replaced that with welcome.jsp file so that it opened welcome.jsp file at first. Okay, when we run the project, the welcome.jsp file was appear, and from welcome.jsp file we are moving, we are navigating to the end.jsp. So this is how we will create our dynamic web project, by creating a new project and giving the welcome file to which file we need to open, and through one page to another page, we will navigate through the anchor links. We use the anchor links to navigate from one place to another place. Okay, so so here we use navigating links. Okay, so here, which is nothing but an anchor tag, which is in a static navigation. Okay, static navigation tags. And we have the dynamic form navigations also. Like when we go to the form classes, we will use the action tags. Okay, action attributes of the form tag. Okay, so that is known as a dynamic form navigation, but here this is in a static navigations. So in the tomorrow's class, we'll start with the forms. Okay, and we'll start with the form and how to create and a form and how to take the input from a user. Okay, if you want to take the name of a user or anything, okay, how we use the inputs, and when he submit, how we are showing printing the output of that input. Okay, so this is about today's class. And if you have any doubts regarding anything like for Java or for JSP or JDBC, you can just ping me in the WhatsApp, or you can text in the chat box while attending the classes. Okay. Let me stop my screen sharing. Okay then. Thank you.